Hi, and thanks for joining me today for the first ever episode of Tasty Yet Healthy's Chat with Tracy. I'm so glad you've joined me today. So I wanted everybody to get to know me a little bit, and I'm glad you're taking a couple minutes, grab a cup of coffee or a glass of tea and sit down and chat with me for a minute. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my weight loss journey and how and why we started Tasty Yet Healthy. So to start off with today, I'd like to tell you that I am not a nutritionalist by any means. I have no formal training with any dieting or weight loss management or anything in that kind of field. I've never even been to school for cooking. It's something that I really love to do and I've done my whole life. I've cooked for my family, but it hasn't always been healthy food that I was cooking. For most of my adult life, I have been what is considered America's overweight or obese. And I have PCOS. If you don't know what that is, it is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a hormonal imbalance where your hormones are all over the place. One of the biggest issues is it's very hard to lose weight. It's very easy to gain and very, very hard to lose. But even with this battle, I have tried through the years so hard to lose weight. I have had a personal trainer. I've been to the gym definitely more years than I have not. I have done Weight Watchers. I've counted my calories. I've counted my grams of sugar. I actually did this thing with my kids. We would have these jars of pennies and actually count every gram of sugar that we had in a day. So I've done all kinds of counting. I've done all kinds of diets. I've tried cutting out carbs and doing all these different things. But what's really hard is sticking to those diets and never having any bending to the rules, because then you always feel guilty when you do. And you always say, tomorrow I'll do better. With these diets, I have been able to lose 20 pounds, but I always gain it back. So nothing's ever stuck. Well, I didn't give up with trying different things, but in January of 2020, I did have my life change. I actually ended up having a bout of seizures and ended up in the hospital. I've never had seizures before in my life, but the doctors had said that it was stemmed from migraines, that my migraines had changed. I ended up doing a lot of research to see what had caused these migraines, because I wanted to do anything possible to make sure that this never happened again. So I did a lot of digging, a lot of reading, and everything that I kept coming across was the things that I was eating and that I had in my diet. And even though I had done lots of different dieting types and changed different methods of eating, I even went meatless for one whole year trying to be vegetarian, but that didn't work for me either. I ended up finding some changes that have worked for me. Unfortunately, they have not taken away these seizures completely. I have had some benefits. So one is I have lost almost 60 pounds. I have lost 58.4 to be exact as of this morning. I am down from an extra large down to a small, and from a size 12, sometimes 14, all the way down to a size 4. So I definitely think that there is some benefits to the way I've eaten. Not to mention, I feel really good, I have more energy, and I do sleep a lot better now. What changes have I made in my diet? Well, I do want to iterate that I am not sticking to one diet or another. I have just made a lot of different changes and made this my way of life, and I've incorporated it for my whole family. I have 3 children and my husband, and this is the way we eat every single day. So what is it that I have done differently in my diet? Well, Number one, the very first thing that I started doing was cutting out all of the fried food that we were eating. I live in the South, so fried food is definitely on the menu everywhere, and it's one of my husband's favorite foods. So I like to make fried chicken, fried okra, fried squash, fried everything. Everything tastes better fried, right? Well, just because it tastes better doesn't mean it's better for you. And it's really difficult because all of those convenient foods that we love, the French fries and fried chicken, you pull up to any drive-through and that's the side that you get. You get fried French fries. If you cut this out and just go with grilled or baked or something else other than fried, you will feel better and your stomach will feel better and you will benefit yourself. And so that's what we have done, is tried to cut out as much fried food as possible. And there are going to be those days that you just are like, this is just what I want. And that's okay if you have those days, but for 99% of the time, cut out that fried food. So for some ideas on how to make chicken differently, I talked about how I had tried going vegetarian for a year. I do make meat now. Again, on some of my videos, you can see how to make chicken thighs with cauliflower couscous. I even do pulled pork nachos. So meat is incorporated. I do eat less meat. All my other family members don't eat as much less meat as I do, but that's okay. Number two would be to take out all soft drinks. I know that this is another hard one to do because it's very convenient. You pull up to a restaurant and you want a drink to go with your meal, and it's hard to make that choice not to pick a soda, not to pick a Sprite, not to pick something that's full of sugar, full of that carbonation. But when you look at the ingredient list, it's got a whole lot of things that we have no idea what it is that we're putting into our bodies. Whereas if you make sweet tea at home, you know what it has: tea bags, sugar, lemon. That's it. And maybe not even lemon if you don't like lemon, but I like lemon in my tea. So I do recommend taking out soft drink. Number three would be taking out enriched white flour. And this is another tough one. Through the years, I've watched many documentaries and tried to incorporate this a lot of times into my diet, and it's hard because the kids like white bread, or my husband likes white rice and white pasta. But when you do the research on the enriched white, you realize how it's not valuable for your body at all. But if you choose a whole wheat pasta, or you choose wild rice or brown rice, or you choose something that is whole grain for you versus that enriched white, it is a lot better for you. Or go with a whole wheat flour versus an enriched white flour. And so sometimes these are difficult changes to make, but once you start making them, it becomes easy in every single day life for you. All right, so number four would be to incorporate as many vegetables and fruits into your diet every day. Changing your white to wheat or whole grain, it becomes very easy as you start to figure out, what can I add? And when you think about a rainbow full of colors, that's what you're trying to do with your plate every day. And if you just try to incorporate greens, you know that greens are going to be better for you, berries, any kind of vegetable. And I know people get hung up on the calories. Don't worry about the calories. If you're just trying to eat healthy, you're not going to have to keep track of how many calories was in that smoothie that you had, or how many calories was on that salad, because it doesn't matter, because you're putting as many nutrients into your body as possible. And that's been my daily goal. Just eat as many good things as possible in a day. And don't worry about counting calories or counting sugar or counting points, because when you are stuck on that, then that's all you think about. And then you think about, oh, well, that's not on my diet if I have that. Versus if you don't eat something that's not that healthy for you. It's not going to be that bad because 99% of your day has been good for you. So if you need some ideas in that area, I've posted a couple of videos of like blueberry muffins and smoothies that you can incorporate berries into. Even recently I did a video on a falafel salad. So if you've never had that, that's chickpeas. It's fantastic. And the last thing is a little interesting. It's don't stuff yourself. So here in our culture, we tend to overeat all the time, and we feel like we have to have that stuffed feeling that we're all done eating because our body is full. But if you let your body tell you when you're done eating, a lot of times that's too late. So don't stuff yourself. Sounds easy enough, right? But the way that I handle it is I just eat slow. When you slowly eat and you chew your bites and take your time enjoying the flavor of your food, enjoying your meal and the company that you have, really just take your time and slow down. You feel it really when you start to get full. And so when you reach that point of about half full, that's when you should really stop eating. Sometimes it's a little difficult, especially when the food is delicious. But these are my 5 tips that I have incorporated in my diet. And a lot of these things that I've said, maybe won't work for you. Everybody's diet and lifestyle is different. And maybe you have health issues that I don't deal with and they wouldn't benefit you, but maybe they will. So I wanted to share what I have done in order to be able to lose the weight that I have and gain the energy that I have. So now that brings us to the last portion. So why did we start Tasty Yet Healthy? Well, when I made all these changes in the very beginning, I decided to create an Instagram page for myself because I wanted to see my food and see the changes in my weight loss progress and all of that good stuff. So I did. I started it when I started my diet change. And as time went by and my husband saw how much I've changed, he thought it would be a great idea for others to see the things that I eat by posting it on YouTube and sharing it with everybody. So that's what I've done. So my husband is my producer and my oldest son is my editor. He edits every one of the videos. So thank you so much for joining me today. And hopefully this is the first of many more to come, weekly chats with Tracy. So if you know anyone that you might think might benefit from this video or cooking with me in the kitchen, please share it with them. Give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time in the Tasty Yet Healthy Chat with Tracy.